were the same ones that were against his word. They were the same ones. Excuse me. They were the same ones saying, "Let his blood be upon our children." You know.
Like I put up a video, as spiritually said that, I put up a video on my channel of this guy, right, in America, and he was at the Western Union waiting for his sister to send him money, and the police came and basically said, "What are you doing? You know, we saw some suspicious activity," and you could tell the guy, he looked gay. I'm just gonna put it out there. He looked kind of like queer, you know. He was like, "No, he wasn't doing nothing," you know. But at the end of the day, that was his judgment, man. And the police came and just picked him up and smashed him on the floor, man.
He was calling on Caesar Bonjour.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh my God, Jesus, Jesus, you broke my ribs."
Oh shit.
You know, and it's like the flesh wants to feel sorry for him, man, because the guy looked defenseless. You could tell he would have hurt a fly, okay, but he got roughed the fuck up, man, and probably his ribs got broken, man.
The scriptures do say, "Whoever perished being innocent."
Exactly,
so
man.
None of us are innocent. Even us teaching this word, none of us are innocent.
Exactly.
Therefore, judgment comes upon us. It's from the Lord,
Yeah.
from Yahawashi.
Exactly. And that's the thing, man. When shit goes wrong in my life, or I get a judgment, or I'm in any sort of pain, man, I say, "Lord, take it away." By the end of the day, thank you, man, because I'd rather be punished now than be punished in the day when you come. Man.
Yeah, that's it.
I won't be saved, man. You can fuck me up right now. That's cool, man. Just save me, man. Because when the Lord comes back, man, ain't no, well, you know, no, man. It's either death, destruction, or salvation, man. You know. Go on, man.
Where was I? I was on verse 3. Yeah. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord Yahawah Yahawashi, the sword to slay, and the dogs to tear, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy.
Yeah, so them beasts, man, they're gonna get active, because that's the point, isn't it? They're gonna get active.
And the fowls of heaven.
And the fowls, man, them birds, them ravens, man, you know, you see them picking at, they pick at flesh, man.
Yeah, I've noticed that, because I chuck out, when I'm cooking my meat, you know, the fatty.
Yeah.
Take off the fat and chuck it out, and the first birds I see going for that are crows. Crows picking at your thing.
Oh,
The first thing I see is the crows.
Yeah, man.
Crows they're onto that, and that's flesh. So what do you think them crows are going to be doing? You know, and out of all the birds, they're some of the most fierce birds, them crows. They're going to be pecking out eyeballs, dead flesh. This ain't no joke, this is serious. We ain't just reading this. This ain't no entertainment, this is serious. This is what's going to happen. This is what's coming to a city near you.
Right.
Exactly. You know? That's exactly what it is.
That was it with that. Second Ezra 15. Okay, this is second Ezra 15 and 20. Behold, saith the power, I will call together all the kings of the earth to reverence me. This hour from the rising of the sun, from the south, from the east, and Libanus, to turn themselves one against another, and repay the things that they have done to them. Like as they do yet, we stay unto my chosen. So will I do also, and recompense in their bosom.
So it's all about the elect, man. You know. The reason why the Lord is going to get these bastards back is because of what they've done to his chosen, man. Okay.
That's heavy, because that means
that's a repayment, man. What's a recompense, man? Because compens comes from the word compensate, man. And meaning back. So it's a back payment, man. What you did to us is what's going to happen to you. At the hand of the Lord, man.
This is Joel 3. For behold, in those days, in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations, and I will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people.
And the word plead, because it doesn't mean to beg, man. Or I'm pleading, oh please, can you know? The word plead there is shakak, to judge, man. So the Lord's going to judge you there for his people, God.
plead with him there for my people and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my lands. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine.
And you traded us, man. When you watch them slave movies, man, it kind of piss you off, man. They would, you know, this nigger, he's strong, you know. Open the mouth, look at your teeth, you know. Or this girl, she's young, she can breed more kids, you know. But there'll be a family, and then slave master 1 and slave master 2 that comes into town will do a deal, and you split a family up, man. You know. So you basically traded us as cattle, you know. So the Lord is going to recompense you for that, you know.
Well, quickly back up what you said. Deuteronomy 28 and 41. Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity.
Yeah, exactly, man. You know, you see that all the time, man, in the movies, man. Like you would have auction blocks, man, and you can't do anything about that, man. Alright, your child is being carted away from you, man. And guess what? You weren't allowed to read or write. There was no such thing as emails at the time. So when you're gone, that's it, man. You know, that's it. And you have to see your child carted away, man. You know, your eyes shall long for your children, man. The scriptures speak about it in the curses, man. But it's cool because that's what's going to happen to Esau, man. Yeah, because we're talking about recompense, man. That's exactly what's going to happen to you. You're going to have your children, okay? And then when they get to like 9 or 10, one day we'll just come and say, yo, listen, you're getting sent to the other end of the world, man. Okay? You know? And your eyes will long for your children. You'll cry. You'll never see them again. Okay? You know? And we're going to have spiritual power. So the scripture says, meditate terrors, man. Now, we're not going to do any unrighteous shit to you, but we're going to have fun and we're going to get technical with our judgments according to the Lord allows us, man. Alright? You know? Like, imagine, like, you might have an Edomite slave, right? Or I might have an Edomite slave. I'll sell one of them off to you, alright? And they'll never see their child again. But then we can bring up a hologram for like 2 seconds. Hey, guess what? On the other end of the world, look at your child. They're looking, oh my God, the child's gone off the hologram.
Or transport them to you.
Just transport them.
Transportation, you know?
You know?
Speaking of transportation, that's going to happen as well in famine, you know? Someone was grabbed by their hair to bring, I think it was to bring food to another prophet. I think it was Habakkuk.
Yeah, it was.
He was grabbed by his hair.
The angel picked him up, man.
So look, in these times, you're going to see many miracles. Many brothers, many people that are blind, that are deaf, are going to start coming to the camp. They're going to be healed. This is the time we're in. So like it to divert from the...
No, but that's on point though, because that's what the scriptures speak about, man. You know, when was Paul was going, was it Paul or was it Peter? Shit. They were going up into the temple to pray at the hour of prayer, and the man was there, and he was crippled, man, and he was asking for money. You know?
Yeah,
and he said, gold and silver have I none, but in the name of Yahawashi, Hamashiach, rise up and walk, man.
Right.
You know, other accounts where, you know, the apostles' shadows were healing people. That's gonna happen, man, because Yahawashi said, the things that I do, greater ye shall do.
Woo! That's right.
So when the time comes, man, like you could have a person on crutches walking past the camp, and all of a sudden they just drop that shit, man, and they're walking fine, man. It's gonna happen.
Should I get that?
They're gone.
Spirit's flowing nice.
And this is why it takes faith, man. Okay? That's why the scripture says without faith, it's impossible to please the Most High, man. Because if you go to one of these fuckers over there and say, hey, you know this is going, they'll look at you like you're crazy, man. We need to take you to the psych ward because your head's not right.
Just like John the Baptist, you know, brother Amawan. Yeah. Just like John the Baptist, you know. If he was here today, people would be looking at him like a madman. Oh look, he's in the wilderness. He's eating locusts.
Well, Yahawashi said that. He said, John came even eating or drinking, and you say you have a devil. Why? Because the spirit was so heavy on John. He actually looked like he was possessed, you know. And John, he was a very rough prophet, man. What did he wear?
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Slack it.
A garment with, I think it was camel hair.
Camel hair, man. That's a rough garment, man. And the only thing he ate was locusts and wild honey, man. So he looked like a madman, and he didn't reside in the city. That means when they saw John coming out of the wilderness, it's like, oh, here we go, this cycle again. He would come, say what he has to say, preach the word, and his prophethood was to preach repentance, to prepare the way for Yahawashi, baptize the people, and when the day was done, back off into the wilderness until tomorrow, man. So, and the scriptures let us know that the Holy Spirit was on John when he was in his mother's womb. So it was so heavy on him, he actually looked like, you know when you see there's actual people that they have demons on them, and they're possessed and they're doing all kind of, that's how John was, but in righteousness, man. So they were actually scared of John the Baptist, man, you know.
He was out of the box.
That's how we're seen. That's why people look at us. He's a bit tapped in the. Well, yeah, you know what? We are a bit tapped in the mind. But on the right hand side, you know, we have faith. You know, if you don't have faith, it's gonna seem to you like a mad thing.
And that's what they say. We only use about 10 or 12% of our brain. You know. So when your spiritual eyes open, it's like there's more power in you, man. You know.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes you feel like you can do certain things, but the flesh won't allow it because it's not timing, man. But when the Lord unlocks that spiritual power, man, you're gonna be doing all kind of shit that you never imagined, man. You know, like walking on water is gonna get simple, man. You know, all of that, man. You know, appearing and disappearing and stuff like that.
Telekinesis, as they call, well, Esau calls it that, but we call it spiritual power.
Like you were talking about, you think the Lord made you invisible this week, right?
Yeah.
There's actual cases, man, where I've actually prayed for that, man. Like, oh shit, I don't want to, like, if I see this person, man, Lord, just make me invisible, and they walk straight past me, man. It's happened, man.
Maybe someone you don't get along with as well. Yeah. Someone may be looking for you, you walk straight past them.
And they don't see you, man.
That's heavy.
Hey, in fact, let me find an account, man, and we'll get that out, because Yahawashi did that, man. When they were after the Lord, right? When they were after the Lord in the temple, they wanted to kill him. And what did it say? Yahawashi walked straight through them, man. You know, he hid himself and then he walked past. Let me get that, man. You know?
When they tried to grab him up.
They tried to grab him up in the temple.
Yeah, that's when they killed him, man.
Yeah. They got the temple.
Same thing with the chariots, man. It's like certain people can see the chariots, and that's spiritual power right there. Sometimes the heroes see the chariots. Sometimes we be out and we see the chariots, and no one else can see the chariots. And that's that same spiritual power.
John chapter 8 stuff. That's that spiritual power indeed.
This is John 8 and 50. I seek not my own glory. There is one that seeketh and judgeth. Verily, verily, I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Then said the Jews unto him, now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead, and the prophets.
So that's the spirit, because we're talking about them saying John had a devil, man. You know. So if they thought John had a devil, they're saying the same thing about the Lord, man. You know, because the spirit was heavy upon them, man. You know, go on.
Verily I say unto you, if a man keep my saying, he shall never see death. Then said the Jews unto him, now we know that thou hast a devil. Abraham is dead, and the prophets. And thou sayest, if a man keep my saying, he shall never taste of death. Art thou greater than our father Abraham, which is dead, and the prophets are dead? Who makest thyself?
And that's the thing, hold on there. There's certain things you'll say that make people think you're bugged out, man. Like we talk about the destruction, we started off with 715, right? Yeah. You talk about that, nah, you're crazy. You're demonic, you know? You're not right in their head. Because they can't understand that speech, man. Bro.
Yahawashi answered, if I honor myself, my honor is nothing. It is my Father that honoreth me, of whom ye say that he is your power. Ye have not known him, but I know him. And if I should say I know him not, I shall be a liar, like unto you. But I know him, and I keep his saying. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it. That was glad. That was cutting him to the heart. That was, hey, that's really, he was the right things at the right moment. Basically, what Yahawashi was saying, look, well, because they were claiming to what? To believe the Heavenly Father. Well, if you believe the Heavenly Father, first thing you believe His Son, whom He sent. Should I continue? Your father, where was that? Then said the Jews unto him, thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham?
And that proves he was talking to the Pharisees. Yeah, he was speaking to the Pharisees because there was the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and another sect. And the Sadducees didn't believe in reincarnation. So at the time they said, you're not 50 years old, they knew that he was basically saying, you haven't had a full term of reincarnation, so how could you have then seen Abraham?
Yes, brother.
Go on.
Yahawashi said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
There you go. So he was breaking it down to you that in the process of reincarnation, I was the first spirit ever made. So before Abraham's spirit came into existence, I was there.
Before Abraham was, I am. When they took up stones to cast at him.
You're looking well wise.
But Yahawashi did himself.
Great.
Himself.
Wise man.
And went out of the temple, going through the midst of them.
Right, yeah?
And now when you get into the Hebrew of that, before Abraham, I am, he's pronouncing the name of the Father. Now if you read John 1:1, it says he was the first spirit made, you know. He's the begotten son of the Father. So right there and then he's saying, I'm the son, man, you know. And they didn't like that, man. Because they prided, the Jews back then we prided ourselves in our forefathers, man. But Yahawashi was saying, look, before your forefathers was me, the one who came directly from the Father. How about that?
You say something, it's funny you mentioned it, because that's what a lot of these jakes are doing now. They're honouring ancestors instead of honouring Yahawashi. So that's coming back.
No? Read that last verse again.
When they took up stones to cast at him, but Yahawashi hid himself and went out of the temple.
So there you go, we were talking about hiding yourself and moving through trials and that, man. You know, that's spiritual power, man. You know? Because when you look at the layout of the temple, there's nowhere in to hide. There's only one exit and one. There's one entrance into there. Then you have different gates. Well, you have different gates. Okay, but the main exit, because you have the outer court, then you've got the inner court, you've got the porches. And when you look at the floor of the temple, it's really one big square, man. There ain't nowhere to hide, really, you know. So from time you're ducking and diving between people and escaping, man. You know, it proves that we might have to do that. You know, hold it, man.
Going through the midst of them and so passed by.
Yeah, what?
That was it. That's
Yeah, man.
So he went through the midst of them and didn't see him, man. You know, that's spiritual power.
Basically,
You know?
oh, yeah.
This is what's gonna happen.
I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna bear back.
Yeah. This is holy. You had him preach.
Yeah. Hydration, you know.
John 1.
Yeah, man. I'm grateful. Yeah.
Regarding the wicked of our people. John 1 and 10. He was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. Verse 11, he's
Exactly, as everyone was just saying, like, people want to honour ancestors, speaking to my forefathers.
I know you're gonna end up arguing.
The world was made by him, man. You know? Because Yahawashi is the will and the word of the Father. Everything that comes into existence was done courtesy of the Lord's Son, man. The first spirit. Go on.
He came unto his own, and his own received him not. But as many received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of the Most High, even to them that believe on his name.
Exactly. And who were those that first believed on his name, man? The elect, man. Because you're talking about spirits, you're talking about reincarnation, you're talking about who was there first. Out of all Israelites, who's the oldest of all Israelites? The elect, man. They are the Elohim that was there in Genesis that made this world with Yahawashi. So when you think of it, talking to your ancestors, it's like talking to yourself, man. Because you were there back then. But they don't understand that. Go on.
Another precept, Matthew 13. Let's start at 54. And when he was come unto his own country, he taught them in their synagogue, insomuch that they were astonished, and said, Whence have this man his wisdom and his mighty works? Is not this the carpenter's son? Is not his mother called Mary, and his brethren James, Joseph, Simon, and Judas, and his sisters, are they not all with us? Whence then have this man all these things? And they were offended in him. But Yahawashi said unto them, A prophet is not without honor, save in his own country.
Yeah, because all the teachers back then, the teachers of the law, the teachers of the word, they spoke in terms of, this is what we must do. But Yahawashi said, this is what you must do through me to achieve the next level. He spoke as one having authority, the scripture says. And the way he broke it down, it was different. Alright? He brought the true meaning behind the word, man. Okay? So they were offended in him. Also because of his background. A prophet has no honor in his own country. They were saying, well, look, Joseph should die, Mary should die, there's your brothers and your sisters. Who the hell are you? How can you teach like this? But they failed to acknowledge that this man came from above. As he said, I'm from above, ye are from beneath. Okay? Because really they didn't have the spiritual insight. When you think of it, their spiritual insight was very limited.
It's like they were more concerned about what? The flesh. Well, we know you. You've grown up with us. That's why they said, aren't you the carpenter? Because that's what Yahawashi was doing. Before the ministry, he was a carpenter. So you would follow, what would you do? You would follow your father's trade. If your father has a trade, plumber, you'd follow that trade, you know?
Go to Matthew 1, because it tells you that.
That's how they look at the prophets today.
Don't we know you be kicking football with you?
Yeah.
You know? You were doing this 5 years ago.
Matthew 1 tells you that. Genealogy.
You want it now? Go. Matthew 1. The book of the generation of Yahawashi, Mashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
There you go, case closed, man. So they will see it as far as you're the son of Mary, the son of Joseph. Here's your brothers and your sisters. But it tells you what? The son of David. Go on, read that again.
The book of the generation of Yahawashi, Mashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
There you go. So, as Amon was saying, your ancestors is letting us know that you come back in your own ancestry, man. The scriptures tell us that in the law, in the third and fourth generation, the Lord will visit you, man.
I know yours is a regular thing. Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
All you Christians that don't want to accept, reincarnation, man, it's right there. There's many scriptures.
Like you just gonna come one time on the earth, live, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years, 100 at max, and then that's it. For all eternity, you're just dead.
What happens to your spirit then?
Come on, man. That's an Edomite way of thinking, man. I just want to end it all. There's nothing after this. Nah, man.
That's what they preach that. What is it, YOLO?
Yeah.
It tells you that in Psalms. It renews the earth. Thou takest thy spirit, they died. Then thou renews the earth or something like that. In Psalms or something like that.
The scripture also says it's appointed for man once to die.
Yeah.
Let's try and get that.
I've got a precept similar to it.
Go on.
After death, this is what happens. This is Job 3 and I believe it's Psalm 17. There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary be at rest. Verse 18, the prisoners rest together. They hear not the voice of the oppressor. The small and the great are there, and the servant is free from his master.
So this is what happens when you die, man. Okay, because death, in fact, let's try and somebody look that up, Baba Kashar, where was it Jairus' daughter? She died, man. All right. She died, and then the Lord said, "Everybody get out of the room, man." All right. And he said something in Hebrew. Yeah. And then which was little girl, arise, man. Alright? And she said, what he said to them, fear not, death is not but asleep, man.
He told them to get out of the room because they were laughing.
They were laughing at him, man. You know, because when they said, look, Lord, she's dead, and it's a part of our custom that when somebody dies, you mourn with the family, mourn with those who are mourning. So they were crying and stuff, and all upset. And then it was like a disbelief. And he said, you know, the girl is not dead, she got sleep. Then they started scorning him. What do you mean she's sleeping? She's dead, man.
It's the same in Lazarus.
Lazarus
can do that.
He's only sleeping. And that's why it tells you in Thessalonians, those that weep not for them like the ones of the world, paraphrasing, because they're only sleeping. Death is only what? It's just sleep.
Yeah. When you die, that's a means of transition, man, from one realm to the next. There's no such thing as your spirit is terminated, because we all come from the Most High, man. You know, which is we're all parts of His spirit, man. So there's no such thing as a termination of a spirit, man. Even an Edomite, their spirit can't go away. Their nation will be done away with, but their spirit will come back as another. Garment. You know?
Have you got the garment?
Ecclesiastes 12:7 says, Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto Yahawah who gave it.
Exactly, man. Now when you go into the Latin for the word body, bodig, it means house, man. Now there's a very common phrase that says, a house not lived in deteriorates, man. And you can tell that. If you go into a house that nobody's been in for 10 years straight, you can tell, nah, there's something odd about this house, man. There's no life in here, man. But if you go into my house and I was there 10 minutes ago, you can tell that there's somebody living in here, man. It's the same thing. So when your spirit leaves your body deteriorates and it goes back to the dust which it came from. But the actual life force, it lives on. It goes to the next realm, the spirit realm.
It's 1 Kings chapter 2 verse 10. So David slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David.
See, slept with his fathers, man. Meaning that death is nothing but a sleep. You know, like when you're asleep in a deep sleep, you're not conscious, you're not aware. You know? It's the same thing, man. You know? The one with Lazarus as well, it was 4 days since he died. Because when you check it out, where Yahawashi was, it was I think it was half a day's journey to get to where he was. But it took the Lord 4 days to get there, man. That's why his sister Mary said, Lord, if you were here, you could have healed him. Because he was sick. But by the time Yahawashi got there, he was sick and dead. Or sleeping, you know. And he said, I am the resurrection and the life, man. You know. Lazarus come forth and he woke up. You know, because all that happened was, the body was, what did it say in the scriptures? For he stinketh. Because he was deteriorating. But all that happened was the Lord brought back the spirit down, put it in the body, and it was life again, man. Simple as, man.
It's like with the young girl. As soon as she woke up, what did she need to do?
Yahawashi said, eat. Go and eat, man, because what was wasted away inside of you is going to be replenished by that food, man. Eat, man. You know? Same thing when you go to Genesis, spiritually speaking, what makes us alive is the breath. Let's go to it. Genesis, is it 2? Where it says, or is it, I think it's the start of 2, where it says, the Lord breathed the breath of life into his nostrils and he became a living soul. Adam was already alive and kicking and breathing oxygen. That breath was what? The wisdom, man.
This is Genesis 2:7. It says, and the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground.
Which is physical, because the word Adama means earthman, of the ground. That deep soil,
and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Exactly. And as I said, Adam was already alive physically. biologically he was breathing that oxygen, that pure air. Okay, he was up and down, man. But that breath, okay, is the wisdom, man. So that was what set him apart from all the other people, man. Because Christians will tell you that he was the only person on planet Earth. No, there was other people, man. You know. But what set him apart was the law, which was put inside of him, man. Okay, you know. This is why the scripture says, "This shall be your wisdom amongst the nations," man. That was the separating factor between us and the other people.
Listen. This is Mark, Mark chapter 12, verse 27. He is not the God of the dead, but the God of the living. He therefore do greatly err.
Exactly. This is why on the planet Earth, this is where the Lord this is where life happens. Get the judgment what you did before, because in the spirit realm you're sleeping, or you're cool, you're chilling. Have you read it? You're no longer under oppression. But the God of the living also, that speaks of what? Us Israelites, man. Because we're alive by the breath. We're alive by the wisdom, which is the breath of life, man. Which is what we read in Genesis, man. Okay, the Lord didn't give it. Where's that in Psalms? The Lord has not dealt so with any other nation. Praise ye the Lord. Why? Because he gave us the breath, man. These Elamites, these Hamites, they ain't got the breath, man. You know, they ain't got that. They've got their own madness, man. They've got the other philosophies. They've got the other trees, which are mentioned in Genesis chapter 2 and 3. Okay? You know? But the highest wisdom was given to his people.
It's Ezekiel 37 and 5. Thus saith the Lord Yahawah thy power unto these bones, behold, I will put breath to enter into you. Ezekiel 37 and 5. I'm trying to get straight to the Ezekiel 37. The hand of the Lord Yahawah Yahawashi was upon me, carried me out in the spirit of the Lord Yahawashi, and set me down in the midst of the valley, which was full of bones.
And this is why the things of the spirit are more powerful, are more important, are more precious than the things of the flesh, man. Okay? Because when you think of it, the more you spiritually grow, the worse your physical body becomes, man. That's why the scripture says, though the outward man perish, man. You can't have physically, you know, physically doing well and spiritually doing well. It doesn't work like that, man. There's a trade-off, man. That's why the scripture says count the cost, man. Alright? The scriptures also speak about in Isaiah 53, for he was
A man of acquainted with sorrow.
a man of acquainted with sorrows, a man of grief, for he bore our sicknesses, man. Yahawashi was a very sick man. Why? Because the spirit was increased, man. So the body had to feel the opposite, man. You get it?
Yeah.
A man acquainted with sorrows and grief. That's why he was, by the age of 30, he had a head full of grey hair, man.
Mm-hmm. Got a precept for that one.
Go on. Yeah, I remember.
2 Corinthians 13:2 says, "For through he was crucified, through weakness, yet he lived by the power of Yahawah. For we also are weak in him, but we shall live with him by the power of Yahawah toward you."
Exactly, man. We're weak, man. You know. That's when even in your life things start going wrong. Like you'll be doing alright for yourself. Like the future's looking promising, and then you come